Okay, we are in. All right. So I see a couple of people already in. 10 reactions.
Hello. Hello.
Let's see. Here we go. There's Mark. Hi, Mark. How are you? I see Dana. Jonathan, say hi, everybody. Say welcome and introduce yourself. I see people popping in. Okay, we are in. There's Mark. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Let's see the people.
So hold on. Okay, so we've got, hi, Shamara. Hi. Hi, Don. Thanks for stopping by. Say hello to Kitrick.
Hello. Hello, guys. How you doing?
Let us know if we can, you hear us.
Yes, I hear you well. I hear you.
Make sure you guys share. Hey, Lenora. Hi. Thanks for coming in. Make sure you guys say hello, say where you're from, introduce yourself.
Hello.
Don't be shy.
All right, I get a chance.
So we'll wait a few minutes for more people to start coming in.
Yes.
And be able to share. I want you guys to share, tag people in if you want. And I am going to be watching with you. I am going to share out too. Say hello, you guys. We'll get started in just a few minutes. There we go. Oh, I see a few people in. Hey, hi there. Yes, I know you are, Dawn. So tell everybody where you're from. Add your business, tag your business in. We're going to wait a few more minutes before we start asking questions.
Sounds great. I think, let's see.
And make sure you share out. She said, hello, Kitrick, Shamara. Can you see him?
How you doing? Hello. I can't see the question, but hello. How you guys doing? Thank you for allowing me to be here. Yes.
Hi, Marvin. Hey, how are you, Marvin? Say hi to Kitrick.
Hello. Hello, Marvin. How you doing? How's it going?
We're going to wait a few. I'm going to start in about the next 5 minutes, and we're going to start asking questions, and we're also going to leave an open forum so you guys can ask questions also. Can everybody hear us? Raise your hand, say hi if you can hear us. Make sure you can hear us.
Hello.
Okay. Tell us where you're from also. And I know, Marvin, you do my trash cleaning, so I see you there. Are you not able to see everybody, Kitrick?
Yes, actually, I'm not on my screen, but my wife's screen. I'm looking at it, but not on my screen here, of course, because I'm on that app. But I see on the other screen. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Hello, Don. I see Don. Hello, how are you doing, Don? Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to plug a few people in, and then we're going to start. I'm doing that now.
But not on my screen here, of course, because I'm on
right, correct. Yes. Yeah.
On the other screen, yes.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Hello, Don. I see Don. Hello, how are you doing, Don? Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to plug a few people in, and then we're going to start.
Hey, Lenore. Lenore's from Pomona. Hey, that's my sister, Pomona. Not on my screen here, of course.
Right, correct, yeah. Yeah.
On the other screen, yes.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Hello, Don. I see Don. Hello, how you doing, Don?
Okay, so we're gonna get started while people are coming in. For everybody who's in, and then we're gonna start. Say hello. Say hello to Kitrick, and I'm going to start putting the questions on the screen, and I'm going to leave an open forum for you to also ask questions if you want to. So can everybody hear us okay? Let us know that you can hear me just fine. Are you guys ready? Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's start off with our first question. As people are coming in, please introduce yourself and let us know where you're from. So I'm going to introduce Kitrick. So Kitrick was drafted in 1987, first drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. Kitrick's played for a few teams, to name a few, which are the Green Bay Packers, as well as San Diego and New England Patriots, correct?
Yes.
Is that right, Kitrick?
Yes.
So I want to introduce Kitrick, so we're going to start asking questions, and then if you have something that you want to include and you want to ask a question, please feel free. Okay, guys, you ready? Okay, so I'm going to put the first question on the board. Discouragement. So my first question is, was there ever a point when you felt discouraged about playing football in general? And if so, what was the incident that occurred and the turning point that led you back to the game?
Wow, discouragement. There was a lot of discouragements. But I would say in 1991, I was with the San Diego Chargers. And, even in this type of game, you want, to have somebody that's always in your corner. Of course, my mother was, and my grandmother was that catalyst. But around the same time that year, I lost my grandmother, when I was in San Diego, and it was like just a major part of me. I didn't know if I wanted to continue on, but just losing her, and then the next year going to Green Bay. My next one was when I went through Green Bay, went through the whole season, caught Brett Favre's first game, won the touchdown, and then the week later, I was released by the Green Bay Packers, even after that big moment. So that discouraged me big time.
Do you guys have any questions before I go on to the next question? You guys are so quiet in there. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Okay, so now we're going to go to our second question, guys. Ready? So our next question. This is about pressure of the game. Okay, so here we go. With the knowledge and wisdom that you have today, knowing what you know, what would you have done differently in life in regards to in your athletic profession?
Wow, what would I have done differently? Well, I look back, I would just have to say overall, just do better. Well, I would do a lot better with money. I was just, of course, I had a lot of money, and I just let it just fall between my fingers. I didn't know, I didn't have that coaching at the time. Not blaming, but I just went through a lot of money and just didn't know what to do with it. Having fun with it, partying. I would say even now, if I go back, even the partying, I wouldn't even go back to a club because I wasted time in the club just doing it, spending money. So with things that I've learned now, and then if I had to go back, it would just pretty much be more focused on my craft, the game, versus more focus on money and club and women.
Do you think that knowing that I'd say money and financial literacy should be a part of education in high school?
Absolutely. I think it very much starts in high school, even with my kids I have here, 16, both of them in high school. They're now learning what money is really truly all about, spending it and budgeting. But I think it's better on the high school level that they teach that. They show you how to budget. They talk about finances. They, tell you if you have $100 in your account today, you want to save that $100 or budget that $100 out for a month or two. But I think it's very, very huge.
Okay, so now my next question. Let's go to challenges. What was the most challenging for you when playing football? This could be political. Doesn't even have to be, it could be with teammates, with coaches. What would you say that you weren't prepared for that you found the most challenging when going professional?
As far as challenges, I think when I got to the league, it was seeing that everybody was as good as me or better than me. And even at that point, I knew that it was going to be a long road, but and just every day battling, every day trying to, keep some food on the table. Just every day was a challenge, and it was just, and if you didn't have the stamina, if you didn't have the will to do, I know if I didn't, I would have probably just gave it up and threw in the towel. But everyday life, you have to just every day wake up and perform and please and please family members, making sure that no one's there calling you a quitter and things like that. So it's just everyday grind, just keeping up with everyday grind.
Do you think it's more of a mental challenge than a physical challenge?
All day, mental first, always mental. I never really had a problem getting out there, and then when I'm going and working out and moving around, it was always just mental. And even like 4 or 5 years in the league, my challenge was if I wanted to continue, with a lot of things that have went on with me during that time. But it's all mental. I mean, big time mental.
So now let's go with something you probably don't want to talk about.
Okay.
So let's go with rumors and the media. Okay, so as you know, it's been rumored that athletes are known to be playboys, womanizers. They have lots of money. They just waste money, or just, well, like you said, if you don't know how to budget, you don't understand the concept of finances. What was your turning point when you just said, okay, enough is enough? It's time for me to settle down. Was it something that happened? It could have been someone you met or just an incident in your life where you just finally kind of woke up in reality and said, I have to get serious.
Just on real talk, like when you at this level, when you're actually receiving them big checks, you just 90%. I'm not gonna say 90%. I don't want to put a number on it, but the majority of us like money. Like I said earlier, is what drives us, and of course, what comes with that, we have the fame, and then of course, easy come the women, and I fell prey to that. I really did. It was just the women were there, the money was there, the fun was there, and the rumors are correct. Now, not every person fall into that trap, but what you hear as far as the partying in the clubs, drinking and doing everything, marijuana, it's out there. It was out there, and I fell prey to that. If I had to do it all over again, of course I wouldn't do it, but definitely not a rumor. It's easy. You get off the plane, the women are there. You go to the hotel, women are there, and that's just how it was. So it goes back to the mindset. You have to not want to fall into that.
Are there now? I know they say that there's drugs within all sports, and it doesn't mean it necessarily has to be hard drugs. But would you say it's pretty accurate? Is it drugs because of stress? Is it drugs because of wanting to perform better, or both?
Well, not speaking for everyone as far as like what they were doing or what was happening, but a lot of times, I never. And one thing that really got me to the point where we talked about discouragement. One thing about drugs, okay, so people were saying that I was on a heavy drug, and I never was, but I smoked marijuana. I drank. But a lot of times, when you're in that atmosphere or you're in that arena, you will drink to, because of the pressure, you will drink to wind down at night. And that's just something that a lot of athletes just tend to do. And yes, do we get labeled sometimes as drug users? Sometimes we talk about the pain medication, which was huge. Yeah, we everyone takes pain medication when they're hurt or headaches, but you can fall prey to that also. But that's huge.
Did you ever find that when athletes were injured, and I've never been played professional, but you hear that they're sent out too soon before the game, and which has caused many athletes their career, where you personally actually have seen people go out when they're really still injured, not ready to play.
I'm talking all the time. That was our livelihood. There was one phrase that came to us regularly by a coach. He always said, "You can't make the club in the tub." And so when we were injured, it was like we have to get out there. We couldn't even show that we was injured, but them knowing that we were injured. So it was days I got out there, I was limping around. It was days where my back was hurting. It was days where things were happening with my body, but I had to get out there. So absolutely, and we tend to do that, and it's wear and tear on your body. And after a few years, mother time kicks in, and your career is over, and that's just how it works.
I see quite a few people actually and I'm stop for a second, you guys, quite a few people that are in actually on the watch party that have questions coming in that you don't see in here. So I'm going to first try to tag them in because they actually have questions for you. Hi, Brandon. I see you, Brandon. Alfreda, I see you in there. I see, Brandon, you have some questions. So I'm going to tag you into the live here, Brandon, so that you can actually, because I don't think Kitrick sees you. This is Brandon Ward.
Okay. How you doing, Brandon?
So they're actually into another, which is another stream. So just a second, guys, and then I'm going to get to the next question for Kitrick. Okay. While I'm doing that, it's, let's see, let's go to, I did discouragement, and I want to make sure I don't miss anything, you guys. So sorry. Okay, so I want to talk about your biography and your story. So many of you don't know that actually you are in the process of writing your biography. And to give a little bit of insight on what's going to be in your biography, what people can be looking for, what they intend, give them a little tidbit on what's happening.
The real. The book is called Behind the Smile. And I just felt like about 4 years ago, it was time for me to tell my story. The story is based on my life and the things I've experienced, and not only to try to get notoriety, but how I went through them. Because a lot of people don't, us athletes are human, and, they look at us like where nothing can ever happen, but we have a story too. And my story is pretty much, I'm going deep into my childhood, what I faced in my childhood, what I've seen growing up, and then now even in the NFL level or the college level, the party, and talk more in deep of what drugs were out and what we had to run from. But the book is just, and then the near deaths that I had. So the book is going to cover, and what it boils down to is, but you can overcome that. You still have a life after troubles and issues, but still have empathy for the ones that are going through certain things in life. But that's pretty much it. So just the struggle and then to victory.
Would you want, being that you have children, you have a son, would you want your son to be in athletic sports? And if you say yes,
well, I don't know choice. I wouldn't want him just to put it out there. I wouldn't want him to play football, and that has to do with the injuries and the concussion, which I'll talk about, and the things that are happening now with a lot of things that should be happening on the lower level that are not happening. But as far as the just overall being a professional athlete, I want him to live his dream. He has a dream. He wants to play NBA basketball, but of course we got to have something to fall back on. But that's what he wants. He's working hard to get it. So I'm not going to discourage him not to do it. But I am going to just teach him, talk to him like how I'm saying about what the book is going to cover. Be smart. You can't let this woman or these women do that. to you or allow you to do certain things. You can't drink this. You can't drink after people. I told a story in a book where, you go, although you're in a club, you party and you're doing your thing, and then you go home and now you smoke. We were smoking marijuana, and then all of a sudden I felt like I was on a trip. So that was God saved me from that. Yeah, real talk. So I want him to understand you can't just smoke everybody's stuff. You can't drink everybody's stuff. You drink your own stuff. You don't chew everybody's gum. So that's what I would teach him along the way. So, and like I said, just, not to discourage him from what he's doing.
Do you think that those are some of the things you didn't get as far as education preparing you for later in life that you wish you had?
Yes. I never had, I never had my biological father wasn't in my life. My stepfather really, truly wasn't in my life. My mother was in my life and my family, but I never had that upbringing, like, to tell me what I'm going to tell my son. And that hurt me. And I'm not blaming, but I just lived it. I lived my life pretty much by myself. I did everything by myself. Had I known some things, had somebody been talking in my ear about certain things, I would be a better off person. I'm good now, but I wouldn't have to go through so much pain and agony and defeat to understand, what it takes to do the right thing or be in the right place.
So many of you may not know, but you're married today.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lovely wife, Dana.
Thank you. Yes.
So how did you meet Dana? So I know that Dana's from Pomona, right?
No, Dana's
She's not?
Dana's from Huntington Beach.
Is she?
Yeah.
So of course that meeting Dana, of course, is a great benefit, but a change in your life. What was it? How did you meet Dana?
Well, the story goes, we both were actually in the same place, divorce-wise. We both, we're in a divorce situation, and everything was final, and it was time to move forward. So I met her like right after. It was weird. I'm gonna say I met her on Facebook. I actually, and it's funny, people will never believe the story, but I just saw on Facebook, this person, and then as God is my witness, I said I can kick it with that person, like literally, like I said that, and then a couple of weeks went by, and I hit hello. I messaged her hello, and she messaged back hello. We both were, we started talking. We talked maybe one time that day. I have to say, she was in another relationship at that time. I respected that, and she'll tell you. And so, I asked her, well, I'll just give you a text back and see how you're doing later. 2 months later, I hit her hello, and she responded back hello. We never had a conversation. A month and a half later, I hit her hello. She didn't respond. That was like September. Then 3 months later is when I saw her, same picture flash by. She was not in a relationship because I asked her, because she accepted my friend's request. And from that point, we talked. She was not in a relationship, and of course I wasn't. We both were out of a relationship for a year, and we were living happily ever after.
Okay, so I'm gonna allow some of the people to ask a few questions before I go to my next question. I'm going to leave an open forum right now. So guys, there's an open forum for some questions. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to see. I see that some people in other groups are asking questions, so I might have to ask and have them. You might have to answer so they can hear you because they're actually watching on another format. So whatever questions you have, start asking now, and I'm going to go ahead and put you on Spotlight so that Kitrick can see it, and then include you in the conversation, ask your question. So who's first? Who has some questions? And I'll bring some questions in. So Lenora has a question. I'm not sure if I'm going to open it up for Lenora. I'm not sure if you can see her question on the side on the feed.
Yeah.
And then I know Brandon has a question. I'll get Brandon's question in.
She asked if I
has a question.
Yeah, I get her question was, she said, and I can't read it that far. That's why okay. It was basically, she was asking, was it hard for me to meet or find genuine friends or a mate when I was in the NFL? And I can't read it further than that. Do you see that? Can you help me out? Let me see. Okay, so I
We
want
have,
to read.
I'll ask
Yeah.
Lenore's first question, then we'll go to
Yeah.
Don. So Lenore has, was it hard to meet
Yes.
and find genuine friends or a mate after you left the NFL?
Um, very. The word genuine is really the key. I've had friends along the way. I mean, a lot of when you're in this level, when you're on this level, and you go back to where you come from, my friends respected me. But if I never allowed anybody to come in my corner, but as far as genuine friends, um, there's some questions here and there. I'm sure they say the same because a lot of people I lost contact with. But yeah, when you come back in a regular life, it's a little different. Yes.
So Don's question is, what do you look at and consider if you attach yourself to a cause? What can a cause do to get someone like you? So she's asking about attaching yourself to a cause. Maybe so. I think I know what she's asking.
Okay, so a cause. Is that a cause to help? Because I'm in the business of help. So is that what she's probably talking about? What kind of cause to help the youth, to help the young men get to where I am? My main thing is just training athletes, to get to the next level. And I worked in a group home and kids that neglected kids and kids that were abused. Just to help them in the best way that I can. So I guess if it was anything to answer your question, I would get involved with the youth programs, helping kids get to where they want to go.
Don also asked, because we were talking about money, do your kids know how to manage a checkbook?
My son actually knows how. He has a bank card, and he has his mother talked to him about a checkbook, but he doesn't have a checkbook. But if he was to have a checkbook in front of him, he would know how to manage it based on what I'm seeing how he handles his credit card today and right now.
So she says, what advice would you give young players coming up?
I used to say back in the day, uh, go to school, and then next is sports. But I always say now, yeah, go to school, but go to school, go to class, go to school, learn something, go to school, get your degree. How do I do that? I'm in class every day. You got to give them a formula. You can't just say you got to go to school, man, get your degree because something will happen. What if something happens? You can't make it to the NFL or NBA. Well, you got to get these kids instruction. What am I going to school? I'm going to school to learn something so that I can trade. And just in case something happens, I can fall back on what I learned and what I have studied for, and also give them instruction on who to hang out with, what kind of friends. You got to look at these kids. So you got to talk to them about everything. So if that makes sense. So
yeah, it does. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about people getting a hold of you, our listeners, and where they can find you, and actually what you're doing today, talking about your entrepreneurship, changing from entrepreneurship from the NFL to your personal life to now being in business for yourself, how important that is.
okay. As far as now, right now, I'm in a homeschool business. My wife and we fun fitness teachers for kids the ages 6 through 13, and we just do fun fitness stuff with the kids. Of course, I can't because of things that are going on with me, but we just train kids. And also on the business side, we have my wife and she has her paparazzi business. I support her big time in her paparazzi business, and it's going well. That's a jewelry business, and then also what I do now is I help people, talk to people about being financial literate because I wasn't, and helping them, boost their credit scores, and talking to them about wills and trusts. So that's what I'm into now, and just helping people, getting people to the point where they're comfortable with their life so they can live the life that they dreamed about. So that's in the credit business also.
So Frida Woody says she has a 20-year-old professional boxer. who's coming up in the ranks right now, and what advice would you give him?
Stay focused. Have a mentor. I mean, a positive mentor. Make sure that you, as mom and parent, that you're in his life, even though he's talking to that mentor. You make sure you know what's going on with that mentor. But just stay focused. Talk about that sport, what he's doing daily. Share with him the importance of what you're doing and the great thing that you're doing. So it's just being in his life and having him just stay focused and stick close to his dreams, because again, a lot of people don't have dreams, and obviously he's going in the right direction. So just keep him focused and make sure he's around the right crowd.
Now, I know you're very involved in the church, which, I don't know people's religion out there, but do you think that having some type of faith really helped play a part in just in everything that you're doing, as in not having any belief in anything?
Absolutely. It was all nothing but God that I'm living today. Like literally, I should have been dead a long time ago, and I say that like with respect to my book that's coming out. So even with the way I lived, and I know that I had to make sure that I counted on God, because he's the only one that got me through. So yes, I don't want to say, yeah, you should be religious or you should be, but you should have, whatever you're having, your faith, you got to make sure that that's what's leading you. And that's what I was saying.
Did you find it was difficult to transition from playing football to now what we call ourselves civilians, that, actually trusting people and people just kind of letting you be a civilian now? And and not always seeing that it was like you were only a football player, like you're more than sports.
Mm-hmm. This is great, Rosella. It's all in the book, but I will say that absolutely, it was hard. Coming from that life to this regular life, I call it, was the hardest thing in the world. Just transitioning. Now people, okay, yeah, you caught Brett Favre first game with a touchdown, but I remember back in the day, you've done this and that. So now it's almost like you're not here anymore. You're with us now. So to hell with you, basically. Didn't mean to curse on your show, but it's more so. It was hard to transition, and then having to again, relate to people and understanding people that were not where I was and respecting that. So that was the difficult thing.
Do you think athletes are considered a commodity, like basically property?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, when you come to a combine and they have you take off your shirt, and the combine is where these athletes are trying to get chosen to be in the league, and you stand in front of 32 plus scouts and coaches, and you take off your shirt. Yeah, you have your underwear on, of course, and they're looking at you. Turn to the right, turn to the left. Yeah, you're a commodity. And that's why it goes back to expectations. If you don't get it done, then they're going to get somebody to get it done. So, yes, we are about it.
So, okay, I believe there is one more question that I'm trying to get. There's some people, you probably don't see the questions in here.
Mm-hmm.
That I see. You should. So, I don't know, Dawn. I think she's being a little hilarious, but she says, how did you deal with all those smelly guys? I think in the locker room. I think she's being.
You get immune to it. You don't really. You don't even smell it after a while. It's just you're one of that smell, so it stops bothering you after a while.
Okay, so she also wants to know is, how do you get your donations for the causes that you support? So it says, how do you get donations? How do you get people aware of the cause? Nice you played for all those teams. She loves it. So for whatever you're doing, like how do they get a hold of you to donate to your cause? Be aware of what cause you have.
First, I have a Facebook page. It's the KT Live, capital K, capital T Live. You can follow me there, and then there's where all the information will be if you want to donate or help out in whatever we're doing. But it's on my KT Live Facebook page.
And I actually just copied that in so you guys can get a hold of him, as well as then keep up with it. You should see it there. I just tagged him in right there. So that you can see, and follow him and when his book's about to come out. And thank you, Clarence. He's like, he's proud of you, of course. Clarence Thomas.
What's up, CT? That's my buddy from home. How you doing? True friend right there. He's stuck with me through the end and to the end. So thank you, Clarence. Love you, my brother.
So does anybody else have any more questions? I want to make sure that I get them all in, and don't be shy to ask. I'm making sure I'm seeing them all. And if there's anything that you want to share first, let's see. Oh, so Dawn's talking about her business. So I think Dawn might want to connect with you with her business. I'm assuming that. So Dawn, I'm going to go ahead and tag him in for you, Dawn.
I think there was a question with Lenore here.
I'm tagging Dawn in so you can see your page for you on this other one. Actually, I'm on two screens. Some people are on one and some people are on another for some reason. Okay. There was another question?
I believe Lenore had a question. Lenore Love about emotions that I may have had the night that I was drafted, the night before I was drafted.
Good question.
She's okay. That I can't even describe it. All I know is that they said they were going to be drafting that day, and we never know who's going to draft and where we're going to be drafted. But I didn't sleep that night to answer the question. I didn't sleep that night. I was just excited, so overwhelmed, knowing that something was going to happen because my agent did say I was going to be drafted, but I can't describe the feeling. It was a dream about to come true. That's all I know. But it was a great feeling after it happened.
Shamara wants to know, what helps you to continue to drive forward in your entrepreneurships?
What helps me? Knowing that God has given me a gift, and my wife, I'm going to add, to help people, knowing that there's a lot of need out there. People need help. People need guidance. People need someone to say you can do it. And I've been through, and that drives me. That actually drives me to keep going, because I know there's people out there that would need the help, and I can help get to that next level.
Alfreda Woody says, advice on friends and family asking for money.
Great question. I didn't, it was a great thing, because it was almost a turnaround. My family, they didn't really come at me like that as far as ask for money. In fact, when I hit rock bottom, I went to them a lot and asked for money. But when I was coming up and I had it going on the first 4 or 3 years, friends would check me, hey man, can I get this? So, and here's the problem though. The problem is I gave it to them. I just freely just send the money, and okay, I'll go wire it to you. And I was just that type of guy, and that's why I went down, because I wasn't wise. But I would say to you now, we have to always be wise when you have the money and be smart. But that's in the book too.
I being that the drafting question came up, I have a question on how actually that really works. What we see is what happens on TV, obviously, because we watch people playing high school and then they're going on to college, and we think, okay, we kind of see the media, how they actually portray drafting. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure there's a lot behind the scene that we don't understand when it comes to how drafting really works.
Your agent really has the insight to these teams and the teams, and based on how you worked out and based on your numbers, these professionals can almost read where you're going to get drafted, if you're going to get drafted. So behind the scenes, the agent will tell the players, okay, you're looking at somewhere in the first round, number 14 pick, or you're looking somewhere around third round, 6th pick. So they let you know before, and even in the top rounds of 1 and 2, they invite you to the big show in New York, and because of course they are definitely going to, but they let you know before that day, and of course there's been some letdown too. Some agents say you're going to get drafted, and then they don't, but they let you know.
Okay, so any more questions? Like before we let Kitrick go. So I'm actually letting you, I don't know if you can see these on the screen.
Mm-hmm. I can see them. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And so if you have a question, I'm going to go ahead and make Kitrick aware of the questions you might have. I'm looking on both because for some reason people want to be on both screens, but that's okay.
Yes.
And when looking to find you, where can they, when your book comes out, how can they get notified when your biography is ready?
Actually, it'll be. I'll announce it on my. Actually, I have a behind the smile business page too. So you can go actually right now if you like look at. It's called Behind the Smile, and you can go like that business page. That's where I do most of my book stuff. But it's called Behind the Smile. So I'll make a major announcement when it releases, and of course on my KT Live page and on my personal page.
Okay, everybody got it? I think I have all my questions. Make sure before I go that there's no question anybody wanted to ask. And I'm going to look on both sides before we say bye to Kitrick. And if anybody wants his information, I've already tagged it in to where you can find him when his book will be ready. And this will actually be on my podcast. So for those who have missed it or want to go through the recording, they will be on my podcast so you can download it. And you can get a hold of him in case you weren't aware of his page for his Kitrick business page and what he's doing. I think we have another question. I'm going to put it on the board. There you go.
What advice do I have for kids leaving home and adjusting to college life? Well, the advice that was given to me, well, how my mother said it was, don't forget, how you were brought up. Don't forget how you were trained and taught while you were here. So take that with you. And my thing was never, and I would always say to my kid, if he's gonna go away, I would say to my kid, never get too close to strangers. You have one purpose. When you get to that campus, you stay focused. It goes back to that word. It's going to be, Mom, it's going to be some adjusting. The kid may get a little homesick, but just keep encouraging him and just let him know that you're always there. So just stay focused on what you're doing.
That's a comment from Frida.
Okay. You have a great.
So before we go again, so make sure any more questions before we let Kitrick go. So you can also find Kitrick, as he said, he does have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, and his business, which is KT Live. So you can ask him questions. If there's anything that you might want to have him interview him, or you want to find out about his book, Behind the Smile, the biography that we're waiting to come out. Let's see, let me put this up from Shamara. Then he can get that information to you or follow me. He's actually on my page. So I want to say thank you, Kitrick. Thank you for answering the questions. I appreciate it. I'm going to download this. I will send you the podcast. And as well as the podcast will be available on Apple, Google, iTunes, Deezer, Speaker. It's kind of all over the place so that you guys can listen to it and download it. And in Kitrick, before you go, you can again tell everybody where they can find you to get a hold of you and follow you so they can stay current with what you'll be doing today when your biography comes out.
Okay, so again, you can actually follow me or contact me on the KT Live, my KT Live Facebook page, and I also have a regular Kitrick Taylor page. And you can follow me there. I post a lot of things there. And also, of course, we just talked about the Behind the Smile business page. Go like it, and that way you'll be in and know what we're doing. But that's for the book. And like I said, the book is going to be great. Talk more depth about concussions. We're going to talk about a lot of things in that book. So it's huge, very huge.
So I did just tag in. Hello, is it Haven Fair? Thanks for tuning in. We're almost done. We're about to end the live. I did copy in Kitrick's contact if you look in the feed on his KT Live page as well as his Kitrick Taylor page. So you guys can click on there to follow him. It's automatically in there. Okay, so we're going to end the live and download it. Thanks so much, everybody. I think, whoops, hold on, one more. There you go. I want to make sure you see all the comments in there.
Haven said, "Thank you for inspiring me in so many ways with your life and words." Thank you, Haven. I worked with Haven before I had to leave the position, but where we're at, he works with kids also. I work with him, so thank you for your inspiring words as well, big brother. You helped me through a lot. That guy right there, he knows. But thank you, Haven.
Okay, so we're going to end the live. Everyone, say bye to Kitrick, and I'm sure you guys will be following him to stay in touch, and hopefully we'll all get to see his biography soon.
Yes, coming soon.
I'm about to close out and end the live, guys. Bye. Thanks for
Thank you.
watching.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Rosella, for having me on.
Thanks. Bye.